And welcome back, everybody. So, rain patters steadily against cobblestones, turning the narrow street slick and reflective beneath the glow of lanterns. Shadows stretch and flicker as two figures hurry through the winding lanes of Jorix, cloaks drawn tight against the chill, the distant toll of bells echoing over rooftops, guiding them towards the mist-shrouded cemetery, where the night seems heavier, and every footstep more urgent than the last. The night itself, along with the rain, masking the two weary figures, cloaks heavy with water. Astani, how many nights has it been that the two of you, amongst the rain and gravestones, have stood watch, observing, exhaustion clinging to you both?
Ooh. How many nights have it been? It's since this has started? I feel like you could count it on one hand.
Okay.
I am not sure. I think Ostani is probably losing count of how much time they've spent underground or at night or in mausoleums. So whether she is right, I think a couple days ago she was supposed to talk to Keeper Reina.
Nope, we're jumping into the past, remember?
Oh, yes. Okay. How many, could you repeat for me that question then?
Yeah, now you're all good. How many nights have you and Kara stood watch over the cemeteries amongst the gravestones? Now you remember?
Yes.
No, it's been a while. That's why I was like, let me make sure.
Yes. I think this is a very important thing, and as Kara is probably in line to be the next keeper, the star student child, the one the lady wants, I think for a while, I'm gonna say it's been, when they're working together, I'm gonna say 2-3 weeks.
Okay. 2-3 weeks.
They've been doing it for a while, but not together.
Sure. Tonight's one of those rare nights where every now and then both of you will meet up, exchanging information, or just adding as a second watch. But your schedule for the last 2-3 weeks has been pretty standard. Temple, ceremonies, and then in the night, stowing away over to the cemetery district and watching as people come and go, watching as every now and then individuals do try and pry into places that shouldn't be pried, oftentimes try to steal from newly dug graves, etc. Over the last 2-3 weeks, your interactions with Kara have gone from pleasant and almost close-knit friends at work to abrupt. A barrier that's invisible seemingly placed in between the two of you. What responsibility bears its eyes down on you from the shadows, Astani?
Is that one word? What something?
Responsibility.
Here I think is with every other position and role is to keep things safe, but I think right now with Kara, it is keeping things safe and on in line with what the lady wishes or wants. And giving herself that pause before decisions, if this is what the lady wishes, if this is, that kind of thought process when you're in the temple district. So here I think whatever is causing a disturbance to the balance, she's kind of curious about it, but she's not she won't let herself take a individual question and make it the priority response, the most important responsibility. The responsibility is to the temple district and what their wishes are. So it is to walk these grounds, monitor, take care of, and find information. I think that to do that the best of their ability. Yeah.
The roles of patience and impatience are oftentimes painted with every job that you do. Which of these roles has Astani taken on?
The Vanguard. I think she was asked to be more of that. I think to kind of find if there are. If I understand Vanguards right. Let me make sure, because yeah, I think with Kara to kind of lead into something and find answers, or not even find answers, be Kara's the special one,
Right.
So I think in this job and everything, she's supposed to, maybe she's not supposed to be the front line, but she's supposed to kind of join in this.
Right. Would you say, though, with these two things that often happen, right? There's the balance of being patient or impatient. Is Astani patient, or is she becoming impatient in this position?
She's becoming
right
impatient in this position. I think that is why I'm thinking Vanguard. She is pushing herself forward into a position she usually does not do.
How has that transformed over the last few nights?
Short answers, frustration, maybe a little bit of jealousy with this person who has been given such a unique perspective, being able to be part of the temple district for years, working yourself up, being noted as one of the other, everyone kind of wears the same cloth, and finally being able to come up to the top and being able to teach others. And yeah, so she's a little short, she's a little impatient. Also, there are no answers. It's getting frustrating, and there's protocol and prayer, and that her mind is racing to sit down and get theories put together. But right now she has to do ceremonies, and she this is something she's chosen, but it's a kind of a part. I think in her mind it's I chose this, so I need to stop complaining, but I want to complain. And so it's that duality that she had to face.
The ebb and
she's
flow
facing now
of the sea, if you really think about it. I think in this moment, as at this time, the two of you are kind of part yourselves on a bench, kind of trying to blend in, although amongst the rain and the quiet of the cemetery. The two of you could be ghosts, as there's really not too many people roaming about. Every now and then, someone walking through to pay tribute to a grave before moving on, especially as the night looms on and on. It's cold. Gone are the nights of summer, where even in the rain, at least, there was a gentle breeze, the hint of sunlight around the corner, or even the moon's shining down on all of you. And here it's darkness, minus a couple of the candle posts that are around the cemetery, which flicker every now and then, especially as their flames are renewed. I think you feel a little tapping on your shoulder. You're doing it again.
Doing what?
She kind of just gestures at your hooves, which you hadn't realized, but you had been bouncing impatiently. And you can see the flecks of mud has kind of not quite gotten onto your cloaks, but you can see has splattered onto the bench around you. And Kara, who has kind of been watching this happen, had very slowly lifted up her legs on top of the bench so she wasn't getting the cascades of mud, and is kind of holding her knees to her chest, half looking amused, half annoyed at what's kind of happening. What's going on?
Just no changes, nothing. I'm kind of a little anxious.
Well, that's what it means to be a watcher. You sure you're up for this?
You're telling me if I'm up for this?
I'm asking. No, I can't tell you.
This is everything I've ever wanted.
But why?
This is the balance. This is what I've watched for years, and I get to now protect and hold that line. This is everything I've always dreamed of.
But why?
So
you can see in this moment, she's gotten up and she's kind of stepping pretty far back in case you start kind of moving mud around, as you will. But she's watching you curiously. The whisper of that smile is gone. The energy that she had, that warmness in her eyes, all seem to be zapped. And in this moment, she's watching you, arms kind of crossed. She's leaning against one of the candle posts in this moment, trying to get a little bit of coverage from the rain as it continues to fall. And her eyes, brown, are just piercing right through you, almost as if she's trying to read the chapters of your soul and trying to find this answer, not only for herself, but for you. Why?
it's because Asani is just so tense right now that when that second why comes in, she's thought I've said it already, but then that silence, that break makes her like kind of look away. And there's like a voice in her head. Yeah, why? Why was that again? She's just, because I want to. I want to stand at the precipice and protect with what I can.
So you want to watch?
What I am able to do, I think.
Her eyebrows are lifted upwards. Not in disbelief, but just like almost like asking another question without actually explicitly saying it. And you kind of see she sighs for a moment, exhaling and you can see the air with how cold it is, almost like mist just trailing into the night for a moment. As she looks around for a moment, not looking at you, looking around the cemetery almost like she's doing another perimeter check. So, you're really ready to watch and potentially watch your life fly by as you watch others?
If this is the life I wanted, why would my life be flying by?
Well, as part of the Watchers, your life isn't necessarily your own. Are you ready for that kind of commitment? Especially if, and she kind of gestures around, there are no results. There aren't people to constantly sing your praises. There aren't people that are going to always be there to give you aid. You have to think of that. It's not like you're married to this. You can leave the order anytime. You can also still celebrate Our Lady. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be within the confines of the temple either.
Why does this sound like you? Yeah. You've been asking these questions. I even heard that you had a fight with Keeper. Where is this coming from? I know I can have a life outside it, but this is our devotion. This is what you commit for. I know we could leave, but that's the point. If we couldn't leave, then this is coercion. This is our choice. We've committed our life to the practice, to the watch, to the lady, and we could, yes, leave, but that is what makes our promise stronger. Because I want to be here.
You see a wry smile crosses her face. She's not looking at you. She is searching at what would be the stars if they were not clouded by the rain clouds above. Loyalty doesn't mean that we don't question. Are you a sheep? Are you following the flock without wondering why we're doing all of this? Or are you a shepherd asking the question?
Yeah.
You have to be able to ask those questions. Or are you fine being a sheep? Are you a sheep, Astani? Are you a sheep? She's getting closer to you, like getting up into your face.
Astani's now like getting heated, harder, like the breathing, and she even like if Kara comes forward, there's like a hand like trying to push them away. Like, I don't think serving in the name of our Lady makes me a docile little lamb just walking around. It doesn't. It empowers me. You're the one who is supposed to shepherd us all. So why are you asking me these questions? I don't question what comes from above, not because there needs to be there is no question. I believe that they have good and right and decisions made or decisions thought out with the lady in question. Don't call me a sheep.
Stop being one, and then I will. All of you are sheep. I'm saying this and I'm counting myself in it too. I'm not exempt from this either. I'm just a sheep that's waking up and asking questions.
And how long have you been asking these questions?
How long do you think?
You have been the apple of everyone's eye since the moment you have stepped into the district. Your talent, your devotion, the way that everyone could see the lady favors you. You should not be questioning this. You are meant for this.
Well, maybe what I'm meant for isn't what I want anymore.
And that's it. You can just toss all of that potential hope. The fact that us other sheep are excited for you to take the mantle and lead us. Just leave it to the side.
Maybe I'm tired of always falling in line with what other people want me to be.
The lady wants you to be.
But she doesn't know me. We are all just marbles being pushed around. And I'm not saying I'm turning my back on the lady before you have some kind of aneurysm. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying maybe there are ways we can serve differently. And I think it's valid if we have questions. Haven't you ever wanted to color outside the lines, Astani? To ask questions?
That is not the choice that you would make in this. That was a choice I made before I came here. And then, like, if they're near something, they're like dirt, things like that, Masani will like kick it or like toss something a little bit. Like their voices are being raised, and Osani's getting a little frustrated of hearing this. It just sounds so. It just sounds so to her, like in her head. You have everything. And you're walking away from it.
I don't know.
And you're questioning it. And that's her, like, thought process.
Yeah.
And, like, she had left a life of coloring outside of the lines to be here. And so it's like, she's just, I think her hands, her, like, fists are really clenched. Her jaw's really tight. I wanted to practice within the lines, I guess. I didn't see it as coloring within the lines. I don't see any of us as sheep. I see us as agents of change, of people who are able to walk in step with the love and light and hope that the lady brings. And questioning it, it was never a doubt. It was never a moment where I sat and thought, Kara, that because if I were to doubt, then I would doubt why they picked you. And not me.
How can we be agents of change if we're just falling in line? Do you not see? The processes are broken. And I'm not just talking about the Temple District. But if you think that you would serve better than me, fine. I think you have this in hand. She kind of backs up a little bit.
And where are you going?
You don't need to worry about it, do you? Tend to your flock. And she will slowly walk away. Through the graveyard. Through the gravestones. Be careful of the wolves. It's the last thing you hear. Do you say anything to the night? Whether you mean it to her, to yourself, the lady? What are the final words that you share?
If this is like a memory, she's remembering Kira's calm, but there is more heat and anger and frustration and like throwing of things between each other. And I think Osani, if she tries to remember this, there was way much more like misunderstanding and like mistranslations between what people were feeling, and everyone wanting to try and understand each other. So I think in this, the last thing, they would have not stopped like Kara from growing. There's questions, angry, like, no, come back, you have to, and like then finally to the lady, like, explain this to her, explain this to me, this is her position, this is what she's been meant for. I cannot go back and say that she walked away. That is not it. And then like I think Osani, I don't know, I think she probably when these heated things happen, there's way more yelling and her walking away and then going back and saying that she will return, wondering if she'll come back to her post, wondering if she'll, like, we're gonna walk back to her room and see if she's there, and then having to say that now she is missing, without having, like, she's yelling at the lady over and over, like, you chose her, you wanted her, like, what is it then? And yeah, I think Osani's just repeating that back out into the space and area. Yeah, in her mind, she's trying to like hold on to this phrases that she said, and she's trying to remember, did she yell them at me? Did she say them calmly? What is it? And in her memory, like, it was much more tense. So that is the Osani that ends it. She's just like, fine, whatever, just yelling out to the universe, very angrily.
And silence answers you back. The night, the rain. The lady doesn't answer, but at the same time does, by saying nothing. The ghost of Kara haunts you for several weeks. You think you spot her around town, around the temple every so often, moving about. But all the while, it's that absence. The mentor, the friend, her stuff still in her room. No one else knowing of this fracture that is formed. And you, its keeper. Ironic, within the veil. And eventually, the hauntings of her around town stop. Maybe it's a week. Maybe it's a couple weeks. Maybe she hopped on a ship, heading anywhere within the world. Maybe she headed north, or east, or west, or south. But the ghost of her is gone, save for what haunts you in your memory of the words that were said and those that weren't. Asking the questions of how was it said? What other underlying meanings were there? What footnotes in these chapters of this friendship, mentorship, There has to be something more here. And there's nothing. And you have to find that solace for yourself. Perhaps building answers where there are none. Having faith that one way or another, the stars may one day align, and you might understand where Kara was coming from, or you might not. Or whatever was pushing Kara to fracture. Perhaps that scar can be healed one day. All of that bouncing around in your head amongst the various responsibilities and temple ceremony, guiding others onwards to wherever they're meant to go and whatever meets them beyond. Here you find yourself, Astani, as a intermediary now between the veil, the people around you, and even your mentor, though they are absent. As the camera shifts, and we move towards where we once were. Give me 1 second. There we go. We found ourselves back within, deep within the earth. A heavy silence has settled over the bone-laden catacombs, broken only by ragged breaths and the distant drip of water. The aftermath of the battle felt surreal, each of you bearing the weight of exhaustion and wounds, physical, mental, and spiritually as well. Haunted by several of you, by how close you've come, holding hand in hand to death. Between the towering forests of bones, the air hangs thick with loss and relief, as if the world itself paused to acknowledge the cost of survival. Every now and then, interlocked under the surface, the cold necrotic energy emits from the bones and the remaining walls of the chamber, slowly sucking at the very marrow of remaining magical and spiritual energy still hanging in the air from the battle. Theodora, you wanted to go and check on Kara, who was in the bubble, which is still up at this time, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can see Kara is actually on a section of bones a little bit lower than you. But the bones seem to have grafted themselves around the bubble almost, not piercing through. You can still see this individual that Astani got clearly shaken seeing. They have deep brown skin and eyes that seem like at one time were probably very warm, but now appear slightly dulled and clouded. Their gaze seems dazed, unfocused, trying to take everything in. Their hair is cut close to the scalp with intricate designs etched into the sides, and their look is adorned with heavy jewelry and numerous piercings. They have several cuts across their face. They are kind of have a trickle of blood coming out of their mouth as they sit inside this protective bubble, along with the remnants of the sanguine kind of threads still interwoven over their shoulders and their arms. Not tight, but you can see just are there. She doesn't seem to necessarily notice that they're there or not, or that they're still not holding her in place in this moment.
In those threads, they're like, are they, words?
You're good.
The way that they are around the room, it's like they're like an interconnected thread of just like blood. So
Looks like blood
presumably some
vessels,
of it is
basically.
like presumably some of it is coming out of the bubble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Can
it
I
looks like
cut
the
it?
bubble was not able to bisect it.
Yeah. Okay, so the bubble can't bisect it.
Correct.
I was gonna try to cut it, but if the bubble doesn't even do it, I'll try anyway.
Okay. All right.
Take like a dagger or something.
Okay.
I don't want to use my sword.
All right.
Just in case it's some bullshit.
You move around towards the back of the bubble where you can actually see these small kind of spots where the bubble and the kind of blood sanguine threads are kind of meeting. And almost looks like, truthfully, if you've ever seen a balloon animal, there's like an extra kind of portion of bubble that's out to kind of help not bisect it, but help cushion its transition from outside the bubble to in. It is thick. It is still pulsing every now and then, almost like a heart beating.
I'm gonna poke at it experimentally with like the dagger just to see like one, I want to see if there's any reaction just in the room in general, but specifically from Kaya, K-Dog. I'm just never gonna get it. But yeah, so I'll just like kind of boop with like a little knife.
Sure.
Just to see what happens.
Wonderful. Okay. You poke at it with the knife, and the ones that are just outside the bubble seem to pulse. Much like, almost like an octopus tentacle, seeming like it was going to recoil, and then kind of replenishing its grip. And you can actually see, again, she's still dazed, but you can see the vessels almost like tightening for a moment around her.
Okay. This is some magic bullshit. I don't know my fucking. Theodore's like, I don't know. And like, Astani seems to know this person and, you know, trying to be nice or whatever. Like, I think I'll go back around to face her, face them. And you said they're kind of like, there's like a blank expression, like they're kind of dazed out a little bit.
Yeah, they are not fully present
Kind
at
of just
this
like,
time.
kind of like a kid at the aquarium, just thunk, 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 thunk on the bubble to get their attention.
Yep. It's like molasses. Eventually you see her eyes, which had been a few minutes kind of focusing on the Deva and what remained. Slowly the brown eyes move over into your direction. And they're looking at you, but they're not. It's like when you see something, but you're not actually seeing it.
If we drop the bubble, are you going to attack?
She doesn't respond. Eyes kind of filter off to somewhere else, kind of just looking around.
I'm going to look to Rory, the scientist person who understands all this bullshit better than I ever will. And like, I don't say anything, but I think my expression says it like, do you know what the fuck this is? Like, I know it's blood magic, obviously, but I don't know, like, outside of that, it's just like, I don't know how to help.
Okay. Sure, I'll have a look at it. You said there are strings around, like, going out of the bubble, right?
Yes.
Can I touch any of them?
Yeah, easily.
Okay. I am going to try to touch one and try to ascertain what kind of magic this is.
Okay.
Oh, let me know what role you need if you need one.
I'll get the help action.
Yeah. Let's do an Arcana check.
Okay. Do I? Oh, I'm holding it. Hello. Okay, that is a 23 on Arcana.
Okay. So with this, it is a combination of some kind of summoning magic, as well as you would actually be familiar with this as well. Some kind of hemokinesis, which blood magic interwoven into it. But it looks like it is using some kind of summoning of an otherworldly type of creature to use that as proper bindings of these blood vessels. The presence of necrosis is also present as well. But a specific school of magic, it doesn't necessarily follow under, because it's kind of a blend.
It seems like it's a few. So
yeah. The other thing I would say, can you go ahead and roll a history check for me?
Okay.
Help action. I'm rubbing Rory's temples, even though he's an automaton.
That is a 21. So thank you for helping.
Yep, yeah. Wonderful. We love helping out here. The 21, a memory pops up back in your workshop back in Felk, hundreds of years ago, and stumbling upon the presence of these types of magics that were already mentioned, and how they were often used as a ritual or sacrifice. The idea that a specific caster or casters would often sacrifice their own blood or the blood of others to curse their enemies or to bind, in this specific case, souls. The idea that sacrificing one life to create another. Go ahead, Maz. The idea that, too, there's been some belief and argument between Arcana as well as several druids about how natural it is to mess with blood magic, as some view blood magic as much like moving water or manipulation of air. Yeah, so it is a topic of debate as well. But largely, at least in today, and as Pointstaff has told you on several occasions, that it is his belief, for instance, that it shouldn't be forbidden, but it should be viewed with caution and with consent being given before, forcing someone to undergo it. Magic isn't inherently evil. It is the user that wields it. That's oftentimes Pointstaff's kind of moral beliefs in regards to Arcana. So, unfortunately, though, since blood magic is often used against people for sacrifices, for rituals, it does tend to get a bad reputation. So, Pointstaff, and at least his experience, has been one of the people that have been arguing that it's okay to use. You just have to be careful with it and consenting with it, kind of thing.
I think I'll flavor that as part of Blackstone's memories from their days at Jorix in school, because it's kind of like, hey, can I use this? No. Well, sort of. Why or why not? Like, it's just one of those things that Blackstone asks so many why questions about, and so Pointstaff is just like, let me sit down and explain this to you properly.
Exactly. Yeah. He was one that, too, based off of the history check, he was doing a lot of research in regards to a lot of this type of magic, specifically how it was used in prior ages of Ampistrano, likely through his interaction and experience with you. So he's been looking into and trying to kind of find additional evidentiary support for his arguments that blood magic can be used for good. Not, hey, it's evil, it should be outlawed kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was largely a lot of his kind of experience in at least the last few years, his kind of thesis through his travels.
Did you, Theodora, when you were, did you try to cut through this with like a normal utensil? Sorry, like a knife or something.
I hold up the knife. It
What
has a little blood on it. It recoiled, and then the veins around this person seemed to tighten.
Recoil. DM.
Yes.
When I try to use telepathy to talk to Kara in the bubble, what happens?
Nothing. It is a blank piece of parchment that you meet. There are no thoughts. You see, actually, if I could describe, because I know you love to use your waiting room for kind of the meeting of the minds. It's like when a person joins the call, and you can see that they're there, and they're talking, but they're muted. But every time they're also typing, it's like the ... of a bubble appearing, but the bubble disappearing. You can see what looks like words starting to try and form, but within seconds, that like black and red ink is seeped off of the page.
Okay, so, well, that was mostly to... It seems that my hypothesis is correct. She is in there, and she's reachable, and the good news is I might be able to reach her without having to break this bubble, but it's complicated. She's... A part of her is still in there, but it's held prisoner and being suppressed, as it were. So, what did Point Staff tell you all those years ago about how this stuff works?
And I'm going to take it back a second, because Theodora, you held it when you were going in. Were you just jabbing at it, or were you holding and then jabbing at it? I have to ask.
I did not touch. I'm not touching a damn.
I have to ask. That's why I was like, let me see.
Neither me or my muse are palm colored. We are not about that nonsense. Thank you.
Okay.
It was a boop with the knife. We ain't touching shit. Okay.
Gotcha. You felt for a moment, even though you weren't touching it, it didn't hurt, but you felt a pulse of magic kind of ricochet through you for a moment when the stab happened. It's like when you like touch a doorknob and there's like that jolt of electricity. That kind of spark went off in between you and when that jab didn't hurt, but it was definitely like, whoa, I'm awake. Okay.
I will tell Rory that.
And things that are very on the opposite end of blackness today. I was the person who actually touched the thing.
Yeah. You didn't feel anything, interestingly enough.
Okay. There might be something of her that we're able to rescue, but she's going to have to help us, and we're going to have to also kind of help her. If I had to make a guess, it might not be safe to cut these threads until we do.
I just wanted to see if it would react.
It seems to have some kind of preservation instinct. I'll try not to make this too complicated, but there is, if these are like blood vessels that you have, there is a very big creature that these blood vessels go to, and it will eat Kara to stay alive.
Mm-hmm. No, I got that impression.
And unfortunately, I would imagine that there's probably not a lot of literature on this because it is usually a thing that people try to avoid practicing. Let me think. There's like you see kind of like process of Rory thinking through things, trying to like make a scalpel and then being like, well, I don't know what's going to happen if I do that. This might not be a good idea. Trying to put in, and all of this is like minor illusion stuff, so you can just see the pictures changing while he's doing this. Just putting on a diving suit to go and try to find Kara and bring her back.
Is it more a thing where we need precision? We don't necessarily want to cut it, but we want to remove it from her body. Like how you would remove a tick.
Yes. It is that kind of thing. It's trying to determine if the best way to remove it is from the inside out or from the outside in. And the outside in is probably the one that they account for the most.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if it's attached to her soul.
Okay. Well, then I think it might be best to give her something to grab. Also, she's trying to communicate. I think that part should be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Arrow, no. Net, no. Anchor, maybe. I haven't done this before, but I'm going to try this now. I don't know how well it will work, and I'd rather avoid the most desperate option if I can. Theodora. I would like you to teach me something.
Okay.
How do you speak to the shift beam? How does it feel?
It feels like when you step into the shadow of a tree on a hot day. It's refreshing. Comforting. I've never thought about how I speak to them. It just sort of happens. But I think you have to be willing to face the dark and let yourself be embraced by it.
I will continue.
I was gonna say, I think like as I'm saying this, I'm like looking at, like I'll look from Rory's face to his actual shadow, and sort of with my shadow reach for it,
Mm-hmm.
and with my shadow sort of pull out some of the shift weave
Okay.
of my armor to sort of put it into his shadow to like give him like the sense of it.
What memory are you pulling from? Because shadow is memory, obviously. For those that
Yeah.
are new watching, shadow is memory.
I think it's a memory from when I was a child, and I didn't quite understand the shift weave or how it worked, but I just saw like indigo shadow detaching from him and going off on its own, like everybody's shadow being able to do this, and mine just stayed attached to my feet, like almost reverse Peter Pan,
Mm-hmm.
where it won't come detached. And seeing these shadows, these like specters of memory having a life of their own. But I'm too young, so I don't have that much memory. So how could my shadow possibly detach from me?
Sure. Rory, it's through shadow, clouded, but you get the whispers of those same memories as your two shadows connect. What memories do you share, whether you mean to or not, with Theodora?
I think they're similar. It's a childhood memory of being in Felk during the summer months, having to go to somewhat formal occasions, but wanting to be just a normal kid running around and playing and things. And then having those moments where I do get to finally run around and just be a normal kid for a bit, sitting under trees, looking at miles of rolling hills and various flowers, and Carmen having a wreath of flowers on her head that she's braided into something or other with her friends. Just a very young half-orc boy.
I think that sparks another memory from Theodora, just of like similar vibes, just like kids running around, enjoying like the sunshine and the fresh air and the flowers and like that are growing wild in this field. And yeah, it's just sort of like parallel memories, almost mirrored memories. The same but different.
Memories finding resignation between the both of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel connected. Truthfully, Theodora, this is probably the closest you have felt, minus when Blackstone is kind of doing the mental telephone between all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Except this is physical. You can feel every whisper of what Rory is about to do. Muscles moving. You can feel the pulse, not of his heart, right, as an automaton, but whatever mechanism lies within his head and his chest that keeps all of these stones together. You feel that pulse. Slow. consistent, strong. But in this moment, they are an extension of yourself. Well, Rory, you feel Deodora's spirit. Yes, at 1 hit point, but flickering.
I'm at 10 now.
Okay,
I got
you're
10 now.
10 hit points.
I got healed. I got healing. But we do praise the 1 HP. That's because that 1 HP is we praise the 1.
Yep,
okay?
we praise the 1. Mm-hmm. But flickering, much like a candle in the wind refusing to go out. Not as vibrant, given all things, but still consistent. And you can feel distantly another kind of thread, which you easily can put together as Sparky, as they are a connection to Deodora as well.
This is powered by history, but also thought. It's a very pleasant feeling. Is it always like this?
For the most part, yeah. Sometimes the memories are a little cold, but there's always something to be gained from them.
I think I know what to use as an anchor. I just kind of hope it works.
I mean, it's like you always say, you have to experiment to find the answer.
That is true. That is a thing I have said. It is definitely true now. So I try to hold on to that feeling that I got from the shift with recently. And I am going to try to use a basically I'm going to try to use spirit to try to reach into, I guess, what remains reachable.
Sure.
Of Kaver's spirit.
Sure. Okay. How are you going to do that?
Well, this is a thing I have to try to do something. So I imagine an object with range. Puncturing power just in case to try to reach her. So I form a spear made out of spirit energy.
Okay.
You're probably going to ask me for a wager of some kind.
Wager, and also what does the spirit look like?
I think we have said that, well, I don't know, like my spirit energy as Rory is an indigo color. So this is an indigo spear. I think there is a streak of like something that looks like a strip of the cosmos in here.
Sure.
To represent this experience they've just had with the shift weave, because that's important. And in that strip of memory, I have my recent memories with Ostani.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It's long, has intricate carvings along the shaft. It's like the shaft is like 5 feet long. The head of the arrow is about 5 inches long. If you are asking how many points we're going to put in here, though, 52.
Okay.
I do not know how hard I'm going to have to work at this mission, but I feel like it's enough that we can't afford to mess it up.
For sure. All right. The spiritual spear forms in your hands.
Okay. Take like a step back and go. Okay. Fair. Not fair. But that's not your naming character.
Yeah, who's fair?
Yeah, who is that?
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
I'm so sorry. What?
Theodora, you have a block on you. Okay.
Mhm.
If you see anything untoward happen, just put us in there for the time being.
It took me as a player a few seconds to realize what you were talking about because we've been calling it cubes, not blocks. I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yep.
I'm sorry, you have a
block.
you
I'm
have
blocked. What do you mean?
No, never. But yes, you have a cube on you. Please,
Okay.
if you see anything untoward happening, and you feel that I am in any danger, please use it.
Of course. I eat it, right? Just kidding. I'm joking.
I am tempted to tell you yes, but I hear that I shouldn't.
God,
And
God.
Yeah, also 10 HP. 10 HP.
I drop concentration
Okay.
on the bubble, and the moment I do,
Mhm.
I stab her with the spear.